Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Winnie Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, we join team of medical staff and volunteers in the Dallas Tzu Chi chapter who partner with the local Chinese Doctors Association in holding a free clinic for local residents. In May every year, Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers carry out a vegetarian campaign in their communities to encourage residents to take on a month of meatless meals. And we meet the float makers in Taiwan's Beigang, who are working hard to keep the tradition alive. We start today's program in the United States. For the past 5 years, Tzu Chi Dallas chapter has been holding free clinic twice a year to aid local residents without medical insurance. This time, team of doctors were joined by the Texas Chinese Doctors Association. Together, they provided a range of services, including gynecology, pediatrics, Chinese medicine, as well as health check. Let's take a look.
Chatting with the patients like old friends, the smiles of team of doctors make the patients less nervous.
More than giving consultations, I feel that the charity clinic is an opportunity given to me by Tzu Chi and the volunteers to serve others.
To safeguard local residents' health, the free clinic provided them with various checkups, including cholesterol, blood sugar, and blood pressure. Moreover, team of doctors also offer free dental cleaning and breast cancer consultation services.
In the past 5 years, many new immigrants from China have moved to Dallas, and many of them don't have medical insurance. So the free clinic is urgently needed by the local Chinese communities.
Through the free health event, a sense of trust has formed between doctors and patients. At the end of the day, everyone comes together to pray for health and spiritual peace.
In Christchurch City of New Zealand, after last year's earthquake, Tzu Chi volunteers promised to provide lunch for the less fortunate students in Linwood High School once a week starting from this month. The first time, Tzu Chi volunteers from Christchurch and the New Zealand chapter brought along vegetarian burgers. The students were very happy and agreed to go meatless.
These crispy vegetarian patties are ingredients for the meatless burgers. The Linwood High School principal and teachers were surprised by how good the burgers taste when they first tried it. Today, for the first time, Tzu Chi volunteers from Christchurch and New Zealand chapter are preparing lunch for Linwood High School students. The 120 vegetarian burgers are not only packed with vegetables, but also made to suit the students' taste. Let's see if they like it.
It's vegetarian.
It's meat.
Not meat.
It's vegetarian.
It's vegetarian. How you feel that?
I can tell the difference.
Okay, but you know it's really healthy. All right?
Do you like it?
Yeah, very much.
Really, really juicy. I like it. You know, if you got...
Seeing the Tzu Chi volunteers, Carlin, a local student, happily give them a warm hug.
You go up. You talk. You talk. Yeah. Hey, my breath's good. Okay. Yeah. Yes. See you too. Yeah.
After the quake in Christchurch last year, Tzu Chi volunteers provided these students with jackets and winter supplies.
Last year was very good, and this year is going to be even better.
In the future, once a week, Christchurch Tzu Chi volunteers will continue to offer meals and care to the students in need.
We go to Asia for our next report. Volunteers in Indonesia's Tangerine travel to 4 townships to deliver rice and to the poor and needy. Some are elders without children to look after them, while others are single moms trying to raise a family. Regardless of their background, most of them live from meal to meal, and Tzu Chi's aid is their first step to getting out of poverty.
With Tzu Chi donated rice in hand, this grandmother and her 7 grandchildren are finally assured of getting a meal to eat.
Usually it is just me and my grandchildren at home. The children's mother is out working. If she comes back and sees that the children have not eaten yet, she breaks down in tears. Since their father is no longer around, they have no choice but to stay with me. But I can assure them of getting a meal every day.
There are many women in Indonesia like Asna who are unable to afford 3 meals a day for their families. Thankfully, Tzu Chi is here to help ensure these families have enough to eat.
Most of the families here have no fathers or are widows living alone with their children, or maybe they're fishermen from the nearby villages who struggle to make ends meet.
I think that this activity is bringing a lot of help to those in need. I hope that the Tzu Chi Foundation continues to help these people and ensures that every person who needs help gets it.
As volunteers hand over the bags of rice, they do so with humility and respect for what these people have to face every day. Inspired by the sense of selfless service that they feel in volunteers, many of the aid recipients also gave what they can to help others like them find an easier path in life.
The next story takes us to Malaysia. For several years now, Tzu Chi volunteers across Malaysia come together every May to carry out a vegetarian campaign in their communities. Starting from last year, volunteers have asked local vegetarian restaurants to join the cause. And this year, not only has the number of participating restaurants increased, so has the amount of participants, which includes Chinese, Malaysians, and Indians.
Washing, cutting, and cooking, this is a scene that is being repeated at several of Penang's vegetarian restaurants as they work with Tzu Chi to promote vegetarianism in their communities. Joining the volunteers are also several frequent customers of the restaurants.
To get more people to eat vegetarian, I think is a great idea. Seeing so many people eat vegetarian makes us very happy.
Although today we have served 300 meals, the benefit goes beyond that. For each meal, another person has a chance to go vegetarian. It begins saving life.
It tastes great and is very healthy at the same time. It tastes great. It's good, baby.
These vegetarian meals are healthy. They will do the body good.
The annual Tzu Chi Vegetarian Drive not only encourages more people to go meatless, but also reminds people to bring their own containers as a way to cut down on garbage.
I think that caring for the environment is really important. We can still save our planet. Nowadays, we face so many disasters. I think that if we can participate only a little bit, the benefits of this activity will still be great.
I think it is a great activity because we can reduce a lot of garbage like those plastic bags and lunch boxes that usually get thrown out. We won't be creating the same amount of garbage.
While in Perlis, volunteers put together a large-scale vegetarian feast for residents. Included was an array of Chinese, Western, and Indian vegetarian dishes.
We can know, okay, vegetarian, and how is the food like vegetarian and the meat. So we know how much is the vitamins there.
This was the first time that I have tried vegetarian food. I never thought that vegetarian food would taste so good. I think I will continue to eat it when I can. As well, I will try to only eat 80% full and use the other 20% to help people.
Thanks to the efforts of Tzu Chi volunteers, not only are people being introduced to a healthier lifestyle, but vegetarianism continues to find deeper roots in the minds and hearts of Malaysia's citizens.
Staying in Malaysia, Vesak Day is Buddhism's holiest day, celebrating the birth, enlightenment and death of the Buddha. This is the time when grand festivals are held in various parts of Southeast Asia and South Asia. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers joined a float parade held in Malacca to promote the concept of eating 80% full.
During the annual celebration of Vesak, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malacca promote Tzu Chi's environmental ideals.
Besides eating vegetarian food, we are also promoting energy and water efficiency. You can try bringing your own cup, bowl, and chopstick everywhere you go.
Because it is Vesak, there are lots of people here. We plan to join the crowd to promote our ideas.
One vegetarian meal a day or being vegetarian for 1 day in a week will reduce the warming effect by 1 degree. Eating less meat will reduce carbon emissions by 780 grams.
Tzu Chi volunteers later joined the parade to encourage people to eat vegetarian.
Why eat vegetarian food? Because it is environmentally friendly. This is the least we can do for Earth.
Now we're promoting the eating 80% full concept. For example, if you're planning to buy 2 pieces of cake with 1 ringgit, you can instead buy 1 piece with 80 cents and donate the remaining 20 cents to help others.
Though a small action, a lot of people have already learned what it means to eat less.
From the perspective of low carbon emissions, the 20% saved is not a drain on natural resources. And in terms of being healthy, eating too full is not good for you either.
The parade today not only helped people understand the meaning behind Vesak, but also the concept of eating 20% full.
This week Sunday will be Mother's Day, and apart from showing gratitude to your mom, is there anyone else you would like to thank? Starting from today, we begin a series of reports based on 4 different people. Through listening to their life stories and meeting the person or things that changed their life, we gain a deeper understanding to the value and meaning of life. The first person we meet is well-known wheelchair dancer Lin Shouxia, who inspired many around her with her passion for dancing. What many people may not know is that the seemingly optimistic Shouxia once contemplated suicide when her husband left her for another woman, and so has her children. Let's hear how Lin Shouxia overcome her challenges in life. Every time I dance is the moment I'm most happy. Moving to the tune, admiring the beauty of posture and enjoying the cool breeze that blows in my direction, as well as when I gasp for air, are all what makes me feel that I'm alive. Though every moment is done on my wheelchair, it is also what inspired other people. I remembered an audience member once said to me, Lin Shouxia, you're fantastic. If only more people could see you dance, there probably wouldn't be so many people committing suicide in this world. His words really inspired me. Never did I think that one day I will be someone else's teacher in life. The reason is because I wasn't born an optimist. I once contemplated about ending my life as well. When I was just 1, I was infected with polio, which caused my left leg to wither, and I walked with a limp. I've had low self-esteem since I was little. At 22, a failed surgery left me handicapped for life, and I was even more devastated. With my family's support and encouragement, I slowly regained faith. Later, I found a job and began traveling around the world. I also met this life-changing wheelchair dancing group and my partner. I experienced marriage, giving birth and raising children. I originally thought that would be a happily ever after ending for me, but my husband left me for another woman who was not handicapped, and so did my 2 kids. I was heartbroken. I thought about many ways to end my life, but in all religions, they say committing suicide is a heavy crime. If I committed suicide, I would not be able to go to heaven and would never see the people I loved again. For over a year, I tried to hurt myself, but what is gone is gone. On top of that, I was only putting the people I love in pain for worrying over me. So I finally made a decision to live life for my loved ones.
不再为伤害我的人伤心，而要为爱我的人而活。我从15到
I went back to dancing and was frequently awarded. I even tried diving, swimming, cycling around the island to share my life stories with others
把信心带给其他人。
and give them the confidence to go on. Coming to think about it now, I'm really glad that I didn't end my life then, or else I wouldn't be able to live such a fulfilling life now. So I want to say to the me who once tried to commit suicide that, 受伤, I understand how difficult all the challenges have been for you, but life is a long path, and when we look at it in the long run, you will understand the difficulties we face now is only a small part of life. When we overcome that challenge, a door to unlimited opportunities awaits us.
就像穿针引线一样，过了。
Of course, I also want to thank you for remaining calm and giving it a second thought, because it was that one moment of thought which gave me a better life today.
因为你的多一份思考。
The Taipei Tzu Hospital celebrated its 7th anniversary yesterday. In the next story, we meet a volunteer at the hospital who received a heart transplant there 2 years ago. Grateful for a second chance at life, the heart recipient Zhang Qingjiang signed up for volunteer training and now devotes his time to helping patients find the courage and faith to fight their illnesses.
Heart recipient Zhang Qingjiang is once again back at the Taipei Tzu Hospital, not for a checkup, but to volunteer. He goes to every bed to encourage patients to stay strong. For Zhang Qingjiang, his experience as a patient has given him the ability to empathize.
When I work as a hospital volunteer and see patients who go through what I went through, I understand perfectly how much they are suffering.
Looking back to his brush with death, Zhang decided to become a Tzu volunteer after his heart transplant. He says he is grateful to be able to give back to society through service work.
I want to thank Master Zeng Yan for giving me this heart and saving my family. I even went to be with my mom, whom I haven't seen in almost 20 years. I promise to be a Tzu volunteer for the rest of my life.
The former patient happily lends an ear to invalids, and through sharing with them his personal struggle with his heart disease, he hopes to give them the courage to bravely fight on.
In today's look at Taiwan's traditional industry, we visit a group of float makers in Beigang who help make the annual Mazu parade come alive. The float is called Yige, for it should embody master craftsmanship and poetry. Though many of the floats nowadays are mass-produced, these artisans are committed to making their floats manually to keep the tradition alive. Here's more.
In Taiwan, goddess Mazu's birthday is celebrated on the 23rd of the 3rd lunar month. Days before her birthday, floats will begin patrolling the streets of Beigang, where the famed Chaotian Temple, which is dedicated to Mazu, is located. Traditional folklores used to be main themes of the floats, but as times changed, the craftsmanship and poetry of the floats have also been lost to techno music and flashing light effects.
This was the first parade float that my father made. This was back in 1967. This was my oldest sister.
Traditional floats always carried a Nanguan musician. Since the 4th grade, Yan Santai has been learning the art from his father, who only passed on 5 years ago. The family has earned quite a reputation.
In the past, the floats were first carried by men. Then they were pushed by men, pulled by oxen, mounted on a pedicab, and finally on trucks. I've seen them all.
Having witnessed the changes to the floats over the past 50 years, Yan Santai is committed to tradition.
For this flower basket alone, I first make a hollow frame and put it together piece by piece before painting it. It was very time-consuming. Few people nowadays want to invest so much time and money in learning and making this. This will probably end with me.
Making a float requires the aid of temple artisans, large crops made by carpenters, and modifying a truck. The process takes at least 6 months. To speed it up, there are factories that mass-produce floats, which worries Yan Santai. Thankfully, Yan has a team of followers who believe in traditions just like him. 43-year-old temple artisan Huang Zhiwei is one such person. He has been setting aside 2 months before the parade to help for the past 8 years.
Traditional things like this somehow always draw me near and make me want to study them. Our forefathers were really something. Each painting has a special meaning behind it.
Huang Qingchuan has been working with Yan for over 30 years. He is in charge of art design. This year, he decided to come up with a brand new theme, which is based on a young man who took Taiwan's dancing prince around the world.
Based on the story, we have Taj Mahal to represent India and the Statue of Liberty for the US. So we made a variety of miniature models to put on the float. This is a break from the traditional themes. We must diversify or people will lose their interest.
Though innovating, Yan's team still goes about their work the traditional way. Yan's wife is in charge of the wardrobes. She has taught herself the art over the years.
Sometimes I feel powerless. Every March 19th, there's a competition. If we do well, then it strengthens our conviction. If not, we feel like we are not good enough. So there is a certain pressure.
It would be nice if someone was willing to learn and pass on the art. But even if this is a sunset industry, at least the stories of the float will carry on. I will continue to uphold this traditional art my way. As long as I'm still alive, the public will see my floats.
In Beigang, Yan and his team are committed to keep this traditional art alive as long as they can.
With Mother's Day just a few days away, DaAi Mothers put on a short play about mother's love and devotion for students at Kaohsiung's Yangning Elementary School. Volunteers also encouraged the students to show their gratitude towards their mothers through Jingsi aphorisms and inspire them to be grateful to all living beings as well. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.